it's Kira from Fringe Recaps, and again, if you saw my other latest Warehouse 13 video blog, I am very sorry for my laziness and the lateness of this video blog. I'm just gonna start on episode 3, the Plateau, because I don't know how I can fit everything into one, like 3 episodes, because they were all like so epic and amazing and stuff. So sorry this is late, sorry this is the 3rd episode and I should have done the 1st episode, but you know, school, homework, Tumblr, all that crazy stuff. Yes. So Fringe Season 3 has started. I hope you're enjoying it, besides the terrible Olivia Peter scenes. I mean, us fangirls, we just deny it and we're like, hey, all I can see is Tormson there. What? So we're very, you know, yeah. So, episode 3, season 3, the Plateau. Yes, the Plateau. I keep saying that. I don't even know why it was called that necessarily, because I mean, what was the, I don't know. Anyway, so it starts off, with this dude, and he's kind of like staring off in the distance, doing this weird thing with his fingers, and then, you see this woman walking by, and he sets this pen, and then all of a sudden the pen knocks over. This old dude goes to pick it up. I should use the term old dude. That's kind of weird. Like, this old man, an old gentleman, goes to pick up the pen. Then, sorry, this dude on a bike, like, runs into him or something, and then someone goes to help him, and then this woman is crossing the street, and the sign on the bus, like, changes, and it says go, and then the bus comes and it runs over the woman. And then we figure out that this dude, the dude who set the pen up, is like making this happen because he can make a death look accidental when it was really him. So later they find out that his name is Milo and he lives with his sister, and he was part of this experimental, I think it was like a drug testing, and his mind like accelerated so much that they released him to live with his sister, but they were planning to, they wanted to, you know, stop the effects of the drug on him. So he's been living with his sister, and his mind is capable of way more than any other human being. Like, he can process information faster. He can practically, like, see into the future, which is pretty crazy. So, you know, pretty smart guy, needless to say. And so this guy, he caused them to die because it turns out I think they were helping with this, you know, experiment thing, and they wanted to, you know, take him back in or something. You know, something about that all related to this one guy. So, yes. Yeah. That's why he started to try and kill them. So first he killed that woman, and so on and so on. So this is an alternate universe, by the way. I forgot to say that. Wow, very stupid. So this is an alternate universe. So Olivia and Scarly, as we like to call him, Alt Charlie and Lee, they learn of this, and they all gotta, you know, like, solve the case. Why did that take me so long to say? So they try and follow him and figure out where he is. They go to his sister first, and she says that he's very, you know, disconnected from everyone, and she tries to talk to him, but he's very, they had a scene with the sister even, and she was like, we're just trying to help you, but he could, like, it was kind of like, you know, when the people are trying to talk to the observers, and they know everything they're going to say before they're going to say it, so they're like, who are you? You know, like, it's very annoying, I'd say, but mostly just creepy. So he knew everything he was going to say. He was kind of like pushing her away and all this stuff. She's like, they're looking for you. Why did you cause people to die? Asking all sorts of questions, and then he just leaves. So they come, Fringe team comes over to the house, and she says she doesn't know where he is, but then she has this letter telling her where they'll be. But then here's where it starts to get confusing, because he pretty much knows what they're going to do, because he saw Olivia leaving the building, because he was there. I don't know why anyone didn't see him, but he was there and he was watching, and they had this really freaky thing where he was watching her, and then it became like multiple little squares and all this crazy stuff, and it was playing that really creepy music that they always have on Fringe, where it's like the screeching violins going like really, really fast, and I was like, oh, yeah, creepy stuff. So he can predict what's going to happen. So he can predict that they're going to go to the place where he is, but then he'll predict that they predict that he will predict that they are not going to go, but then they could predict that he'll predict that, and so they can try and go because he thinks that they're not going, but then he'll predict that they predict that, and it's just a never-ending cycle of predicting stuff, and they decide, well, we're just gonna go over there and try and find him. So they're walking, and then he sees them, and he sees into the future, kind of, and predicts what Olivia is going to do. I said Olivia, but this is our Olivia, who's just getting mixed up with Olivia's memories. So anyway, they have this thing where they have like a triangular sign that tells you to take your oxygen inhaler, and they didn't have that in this universe. So he predicts that he will start running, she will start chasing him, and then he'll run past this he'll run past the sign first, and then she'll, inhaler, oxygen stuff, and then she'll run past this truck that's like loading cinder blocks, and they'll all fall on her, and then she'll die. Yeah, very, very nice, So, but then that's incorrect use of grammar. So he starts running, and she starts chasing him, but when they come across the triangle sign thingy that tells her to use her inhaler, she doesn't know the protocol, because she's Olivia from this universe, and they didn't have to do that, so she doesn't take her inhaler, and she's chasing, and he's like, OMG, she didn't die. And I was like, oh, Bird, you can't mess with Olivia Dunham. Even if you can see in the future, she still had been in charge. So then she starts chasing him, and then she's like, stop, and then she starts to not breathe, and then he's trying to, hurt her and stuff, and then Scarlet comes, and he's like, taking his inhaler, and then he's like, push the button, Olivia, don't you know what to do? And then it's all good. And he's taken back to the facility, but he has to stay in there because now his thoughts can only be processed and replied to by a machine. And it was really sad. There was a scene with the sister, and she came in, she was like holding his hand, and like he wouldn't even respond. Well, he stopped for a second, and then he just kept going, and she left this little plastic horse there, and I was like, yeah. But now, getting to the real epicness. Yes, it gets more epic than Olivia dodging a truck of cinder blocks. So, Frank, I think, yeah, Olivia's husband, so she's at the apartment, she thinks she's Olivia and whatnot, and they're sitting, he's like, oh, I gotta go, and did anyone else observe that they were not very, boyfriend, girlfriend-ish, like, he didn't even kiss her, well, he kissed her on the cheek or something, didn't he, but it was just like a hug, like, bye, I love you, whatever, he was leaving on a trip, so, whatever, I don't like him, pretty much just because he's in love with Olivia. Olivia's bad, yeah, I don't want to get into that, but anyway, so, she's sitting, and then, suddenly, Peter is there, and she's hallucinating. She hallucinated before when they were looking around at the crime scene, and he's like, you can't forget where you come from, Olivia. You can't forget this, and then he leaned and he kissed her, and it was like, it's a little hallucination, but I was like freaking out. I seriously fell over on my couch, and it was full of epicness. And I'm gonna go to part 2 now.